You lived another life, and you just forgot. You ever get that feeling? Like something's missing? Like there's a weight in your chest for a reason you can't explain? Maybe it's not from this life. Maybe it's a memory that doesn't belong here. You lived another life. Not in some distant future. Not in a spiritual metaphor. But somewhere real. Somewhere detailed. A life with people you loved. Places you knew. A version of you that grew old. And forgot how it all began. And then you blinked. And you were here again. No evidence. No scars. Just a strange grief. A phantom ache. A memory with no pictures, no names, no story. But it still hurts. It still lives in you. What if you were hit by a car? Or slipped underwater? Or simply looked too long at a light? And in the milliseconds, your brain began to shut down. Your mind built another life. One that lasted decades. One where you got to finish everything you never could here. Time doesn't exist the way we think it does. Dreams prove that. So does trauma. 1 second can last forever. 10 years can vanish in a blink. So what if you've lived many lives like this one and forgot them all? What if this is just the one that stuck? There are people who've hit their head, passed out, or flatlined, only to return with memories that don't belong. Memories of children they've never had. Cities they've never seen. A love so deep it left them broken in this life, even though it never happened here. But it did. Somewhere. Or maybe everywhere. Maybe time isn't a line. Maybe it's a pool. And your mind just keeps diving into different lives. One after the other. Living, forgetting, living again. Like pages in a book you'll never finish. You don't remember the others. You're not supposed to. But your body remembers. Your soul remembers. The ache, the flashes, the déjà vu. They're echoes. Residue. Proof that something happened before all this. And it mattered. You were someone else. You loved someone else. You died. And now you're here, trying to remember what was never meant to be remembered. And sometimes, it slips through. In dreams, in the way you feel something for no reason, in the way a stranger feels like home. And in those quiet moments, the still ones, you feel it again. The grief of a life you already lived. You don't need to explain it. You don't need to prove it. Because somewhere in the corners of your mind, you already know. You lived another life. And you just forgot. But what if this one isn't the only echo? What if the flicker behind your eyes is 1,000 lives layered together, all overlapping, all pressing up against this one moment you call now? What if your dreams aren't dreams at all, but reruns of other lives your soul is still tethered to? You can't prove it. But sometimes it feels more real than this. Sometimes the memory of a street you've never walked down feels more vivid than your own neighborhood. Sometimes the feeling of loss is stronger for someone you've never met than the ones you see every day. And no one believes you, because no one else saw it. But deep down, you know, you've been here before. Not this exact place, but this exact feeling, the weight, the wonder, the sadness you can't explain. It's not a malfunction. It's memory trying to reach you through the cracks. You've lived whole lives in seconds. Seconds that stretched into decades. And you've forgotten most of them. But the soul never really forgets. It just waits. Waits for the moment you slow down long enough to notice the signals again. The flicker in the light. The wrongness of a sound. The way a name you've never heard makes your stomach drop. All of it matters. Because maybe the point of this life isn't to remember those other lives fully. Maybe it's just to carry what they gave you. To carry the love, the regret, the longing, not as burdens, but as proof that you've lived more than once. And maybe this time, you'll take those echoes and turn them into something new. Not just memory, but creation. Not just déjà vu, but rebirth. Because you've already died, maybe more than once. And each time you returned here, a little different, a little more broken, a little more awake. Maybe this is the life where you finally wake up completely and realize you've never been alone, you've never been lost, you've always been on the edge of remembering. And now you do. You lived another life, and you just forgot. Subscribe if you're ready to start living on your own terms.